Well, good morning, stamping friends. How is everyone doing today? I feel like I was just here. I actually missed my Tuesday morning Facebook Live, and so I did it Wednesday, which was just a couple days ago. So here I am again. I'm really sorry about that because I try to stay on schedule and do my lives 9 o'clock Mountain Standard Time on Tuesdays and Fridays. So we are back on track here. I would love to share this little gift card holder that I made, and it's a card. I was getting low in birthday cards, so that's what you're stuck with today, but everybody can use a birthday card, right? And the stamp set that I used are a couple of them. There's Jar of Flowers, and I know you've seen me use this before. This is the first one I played with when I got my pre-order. And then I also threw in Itty Bitty Birthdays just because I need birthday cards. And this one does not have a sentiment stamp set with it, so that's why I pulled this in. And the paper that I'm using is the same paper that I used on Wednesday's Facebook Live. It's Flowers for Every Season. Look at all these really pretty florals, and then the coordinating mix and match patterns that go, and look at these nice bright colors for summer. The one I did on Wednesday is a really bright, fun summer one, so if you missed that one, you can go back and watch that one. That one's a fun one too. So the papers I chose are the sunflower, and then I picked up on the polka dot and coordinate it with this. I love blue and yellow together. So let me share the card with you. Here it is. So it's a sunflower one. Isn't that pretty with the two color combos together? And then when you open it, that's where you find that gift card. And here's my Starbucks card ready to go in there, but it's still kind of drying. I just finished the flap, but that fits in there. But I don't want to put it in yet till it dries. All right, so let me share with you how to make this card. I have my host code up here in case you see some products that you like. This is a brand new catalog, so chances are you don't have everything yet. So if you could please use the host code, that would be awesome. I would really appreciate that. All right, so for starters, I'm gonna pull my paper trimmer because I wanna show you how to cut this. Sometimes I actually did pre-cut because the angle that I sit at, I could not see precisely where to cut. So pretend like this is a half sheet of paper. It's 8.5 by 5.5. And then what I did was I scored it in half. So this is the halfway mark. Pretend, actually, I think I have the little paper here. It's a little bit smaller, but pretend like it's like that. So just take your scoring blade, make sure you don't mix these up. Have you ever accidentally done that? Oh my gosh, and then you cut when you meant to score. So this just puts a little score down there. And then you're gonna move the blade up to the top, and then like I said, from this angle, I cannot even see the numbers, and I have my glasses on, but we want to hit the 3 mark. So that's why I pre-cut this. So just bring your trimmer down to 3 and then stop. Then you're going to lift it up and then put this edge at 3. And this time you're going to start from the bottom and then just go up until you meet that point, and you can kind of feel where that is. All right, so that's how I cut my base of the card, and so that's where you get that little fun fold. All right, let's start building the card now. I took the polka dot paper and I cut this at 4 inches by 2 1/4, and we are just going to put snail on the back side and just center that on the bottom here. Just like that. All right, now for the top, I want to put the sunflower in. So this piece is just a tiny bit bigger. And this one is 4 inches by 2 3/4. We're going to do the same thing. This side would have been pretty too. Oh gosh, it's so hard to decide. So just center that towards the top. And while we're at it, let's just put the inside on as well. This one is 2 1/4 by 4, which is the same as that outside piece. We'll stamp on it later. Normally I stamp on this first because sometimes you botch it up a little bit and then you just flip the paper over and you always have a second try. So that means I got to get it right on the first try. All right, the inside of the card is about done already. Now let's build the front panel on this. The first piece that we're going to use, oh, I bet that's what that little square was that I cut out. This one is, let me make sure that's the right size. Yep. So the first layer is the Misty Moonlight, which is one of our new in colors, 2 3/4 by 4 inches. And then we're going to cut the Bumblebee, and we're just going to go 1/8 smaller than this one. So it's actually 2 5/8 by 3 7/8. And we're just going to adhere those together. All right. And that'll make a nice little layer for this. It's a tight squeeze, but I like tight. All right, now the next thing we're going to do is build the flower in the jar. So we just need a piece of scrap paper, and this is Whisper White. I don't use the thick on this. The only time I use Whisper White thick is if it's the base of the card, because it's a little bit stronger, but for building and stamping and punching, I just use the Whisper White. You get more sheets in a pack. You get 40 with the Whisper White plain, but with the thick, there's only 24 in a pack. All right, so we're gonna stamp this, and we want to put some water in there. That's just Memento black ink. And for the water, I'm going to grab my Pool Party. And for doing the water, I like to stamp off once, just because it gets lighter in color. So just have a scrap paper, and then it'll make it 1 shade lighter. So just ink that up, and you'll get a nice light blue watercolor. All right, the next one is we are going to punch it out with this jar punch. This comes as a bundle with the stamp set, which is really nice because you save 10% if you buy bundled items together. Or you can get this free if you sign up to be a demonstrator. With any starter kit that you purchase, actually not any starter kit, you always get to choose whatever you want in your starter kit. But if you sign up before June 30th, you will get a free bundle, your choice of anything. Now remember, a bundle is a stamp set and a punch, or a stamp set and a die set. All right, now we need to put the stems in here. So because the green in that print, the sunflower print, is just jade, that's what color I'm gonna use for the stems. So green is one of my favorite colors, so I was excited that there's a new green, unlike any other shade that we have right now. So this is gonna stamp nice and dark, and then I'm gonna use my blends and I'm gonna color in, but I'm choosing the lighter blend, and the reason is because then you're gonna see the outline a little bit better. And when I did my other card, I told you this little analogy, because sometimes these stems, they get mixed up and you can't tell like where it goes. And I compare it to when you're doing a maze. I remember when I'd go to the dentist as a kid, they had those highlight books, and I would love to sit and do those mazes, but I always had to start at the exit and work my way to the front. So that's why I start at the bottom, because it's easier to follow the maze. When I try to start at the top, I get mixed up because of the jar lines, and it's just easier to start from the bottom and just trace it all the way up. You can follow the line a lot better. So that was a little side note. All right, now let's set that aside, and let's stamp our sunflowers now. And we're just going to use the same black ink. The reason we use Memento ink is because it does not blend, it does not run when you use the blends. If you would use the Stampin' Write markers, it would be a big mess because those bleed and run into it. Now, obviously I'm not going to color this whole thing, but I just want to show you a couple things that I do. Because we don't have a bumblebee yellow, that's what I would choose to use in blends. That's why I'm using Daffodil Delight, and it is pretty dark if you go over it a few times. So I'm not gonna do the whole thing, but I just wanna show you how I shade. My two favorite colors for shading are pumpkin pie or the new cinnamon cider. This is the light one. So I'm gonna do both of them and see which one you like better. So just kind of follow the lines like that. Whoops, this one's not pumpkin pie. That one's coral. And then here's pumpkin pie. That one gives it a little bit orangey. And then to blend it better, you go back with your yellow and just kind of pull the color out like this. Don't go to the very end because you want that bright yellow. Oops, I didn't go out far enough with my yellow so you can see the orange. So it really doesn't matter. They both look nice. They're very similar, but if you want a more orangey look, then choose the pumpkin pie, and this one's more of a brownish look. So either one's good. All right, so let me pull in the one that I finished. This is one that I used pumpkin pie on, and I'll just share with you what else I used for blends. I used the dark Just Jade for this leaf thingy here, and then I used the lighter jade for that, and then this is Calypso Coral with the light and the dark for shading. All right, now we're gonna cut one more layer for this because I love wood grain background. This one is 2.5 by 3 3/4. So let's just put this on the front. There's quite a few wood grains in this paper pack. Let me just show you quick the packet. Oh, maybe I don't have it here. Oh, I don't. I don't like this version as well because the pieces are smaller. I made another one with bigger squares that's two-sided, but you get the gist of what it is. So the one I chose is the one that has the hexagon on the back. So this one up here. All right. Now let's just put this one on the front. And again, it's gonna be a real tight squeeze, but that's all right. I want it like that. Now let's pull our card front back out. So we want dimensionals on the back of this. So grab those. Oh my, if you could see this disaster over here. That's why I have trouble finding things. All right, so we want to put 2 at the bottom and now 2 at the top, but we have to be careful because if you put them too high up, it's gonna keep your card shut. So what I do to figure out where it goes is I just really want to know the width of this, so I'll set it here, and then I put my dimensionals on the actual card like this, so I know it can't go wider than that. And then this side, so line it up, can't go wider than that. There. All right, now I'll take off all those little tab things that you find everywhere in your house. My house was clean today and I still found these even after cleaning, so you just never know where they might show up. On my team page I said, where have you found dimensionals? And oh, you wouldn't believe the pictures people posted, like on a dog nose, a dog tail, in cleavage, you name it, it was there. All right, now all we need to do is put the jars and the flowers on. So let's get our dimensionals again. I should just keep these out. And just a couple will do it. You don't need to line up your jar with these. 2 will hold it. And then just put that at the bottom. And then the flowers, what I like to do, because I want this to pop up even more than the jar, so I use foam adhesive strips because they're about double the thickness of dimensionals. So I'll just cut a little strip of that and just place it on the back. Again, 1 strip will do it. And I believe this is right side up. So just put it like that. So we've got lots of dimension going on here. And then I made a little bow, and let me show you this beautiful pack of ribbon that you can get. This ribbon is in the catalog on page 161, and it's called Flowers for Every Season Ribbon Combo Pack. And look at how pretty. There's white, which goes with everything. Then we have the Just Jade. That one was a little bit too big for this, but then they have a baker's twine that has white, Misty Moonlight, and a little bit of silver in there. So I use the baker twine one. And then all I want to do is add a little glue dot to the back of this. And I did a double bow, like I just put 2 strings together and tied them in a bow together. I left the strings a little bit long, and so that's the front of the card. Then on the inside, I'm just gonna put the happy birthday sentiment, and I chose Misty Moonlight, but you can choose whatever color you want that coordinates with this. And then we'll just stamp that right in the middle. All right, and then let's do that little gift card tab thing. What I did was I took 2.5 inches by 2.5 inches of a piece of Misty Moonlight cardstock, and then I just took a 1.5 inch circle punch and I just centered it in there, and then just punch out that little piece, and that makes it easier for you to pull the gift card out. Now the tricky part is when you put the glue on here, our snail is too wide for this. So you are better off putting the thinnest line of glue that you can, because this is just a little bit wider than the gift card. And so if you get too much glue on there, it is not gonna allow the gift card to slide in and out there. So just place it right on top like that. There you go, and there's your little pocket, and let it dry well before you put the card in there. So that's our project today. I did make another version of this one. Let me show you that one. It's in different colors with different flowers, but this one's real pretty too, because I like the contrast of the dark brown with the yellow. And again, I used Daffodil Delight, the light and dark blend. And I wanted to show you this. I didn't want to take the time to emboss, but what I did for this is I used It's Your Day from the same stamp set called Itty Bitty Birthdays, and I used Versamark with white embossing powder. And then all you do is you take your blend, and did you know that you can color your blends on embossing powder that has been heat set with your heat tool? So that's just another way to dress that up a little bit. So which version do you like better? Do you like the blue or the yellow? So you can write in the comments what's your favorite. All right, that's all I have for you. So I hope you have a wonderful weekend, and stay safe and stay healthy, and we will see you again. Bye-bye. Thanks, everyone.